Hello and welcome back to Python data analysis and visualization course. In this video, we are going to continue with the Pandas library of Python. In the last video, we ended our last video with discussion about filtering methods, and we used regex or regular expression filtering to filter out the data based on text or character based conditions. So now that we have a few basic knowledge about filtering, we can continue towards the next part, which is changing data according to conditions. This works very similar to filtering, but instead of just filtering the data, we are applying those filters on the data and change the data frame itself. And then we are going to look at some methods to group the data with aggregate statistics like average, min, max, count, and so on. So let's get started. In this video, we are going to use a new data file, which is going to be an Excel spreadsheet file that contains data about Pokemon characters. You can see on the screen about the general headings like name, type 1, type 2, HP, attack, defense, and bunch of other stats about each Pokemon characters. So we will be using this Excel file today and learn about how we make conditional changes in data. And so with that being said, like always, let's import pandas, import files from Google Colab, import the data Excel file that contains all the data about Pokemons, and then make a data frame out of it and display it on the screen. We will use the Excel function, read Excel function for this purpose, as we are using an Excel SX file, which is an Excel spreadsheet file. Okay, so now let me demonstrate how we can change data based on conditions. First of all, we know how to filter data based on normal conditions, such as if we wanted to get all the rows where the value of type 1 column was fire, we can just write data.log, and inside indexing operator, we can type data sub type 1 equals fire and run it. We can see all the Pokemons with type 1 as fire. But if we wanted to change something based on that value of fire for the type 1 column, we can just type the name of the column we wanted to change. In this case, the same column, which is type 1, and then we write equals, let's say dangerous, and then print out our data. We will see the results, and if you notice carefully, the Pokemons whose type 1 was fire, now their type 1 has become the word dangerous. So we have basically changed the word, replaced those values. So the first part of statement is the filter itself. And then we mention to which columns that we want to apply the filter, which is type 1 column in this case. And then we mention the value we want that column value to change to, which is the word dangerous in this case. We have successfully changed the value of type 1 if the type 1 was fire. Now, it is not necessary at all that the filter can be applied to make change in the same column where filter is originated from. You can change the value of some other column based on filter on some other column as well. So let me just reset the data frame quickly, because due to previous statements, the data frame was actually edited. So I'm again going to write data equals pd.read excel and pokemon data.xlsx. And now let's apply the same filter as above, but this time instead of changing the type 1 column, we are going to change the legendary column. And so every time the type 1 is going to be fire, the program will change the corresponding legendary column value to true. So let's run it and see the result. Okay, so let's now take a look at aggregate statistics, what they are and how to use them. We will take a look at what is the group by function in pandas and its uses. I'm gonna load the data again by pd.read excel. Okay, so the group by function allows you to perform many cool analysis on data. Okay, so let's suppose that I wanted to get the average HP of all Pokemons that belonged to the grass type or grouped by the type they are. We can figure out things like, hey, some specific types of Pokemon have better attack or better defense. So what can I do right now is I can write data.group by type 1.mean. So we are getting the mean of everything, and then let's just sort all the values according to the defense column. So if we run this, we can see the result. we can see that if we take the average of all the steel Pokemon, their defense is better than all the other ones, which is really kind of cool. We can also write here attack and see the sorted values according to highest attack. As you can see on the screen, if we take the average of all the dragon Pokemon, they have the highest attack, which is nice. In addition to the main function, we can use some other functions as well. The first one that comes to mind is the sum function, obviously, and the other one is the count function. I will leave the sum function for you to experiment with, and now let's just take a look at the count function with the group by function. So we can use the count function to see all the counts of each Pokemon based on type 1 column. So you can see each type of Pokemon and how many of them are there that belong to a specific type. And there is also a lot of unclean data here. So if I wanted to clean it, and let's just say that we wanted to get the number of Pokemon characters based on their type only, we can just add a new column first and then use the same function, but this time get only the newly added column. We can see the amount of Pokemon characters based on their type, very clean. And this gets really useful when you are dealing with a huge set of data and you couldn't load it in one data frame, and yes, that often happens. So this group by and the count and sum functions are super useful because you can take the data frame and sort of squish it down. Like if you are keeping a track of something in the data and are counting a thing, you can group by to count things and then sort of make it smaller based on the group by function and its condition that it is using. So that was just a little bit about the aggregate statistics, and these things really make cleaning of data super easy. So I'll make sure to put some reading material where you can learn some of more extra stuff regarding aggregate statistics and practice more about them. And I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll continue.